And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, John the Punk Thompson. 100% agree. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
That's right. We are live. It is time for us to get going. The Weighing In podcast is ready to talk about all the big fight. What are you making faces for? What is that?
That's
Is
the
that
voice.
supposed
That's
to
the
look?
face.
Is that supposed to look good?
That's the face I make when I hear your voice.
I can
It just comes
understand
out
it now.
naturally.
That
Yeah.
that was perfect.
It was like bitter beer face. What's up, everybody? Hey, we are live. We are live. You know what? For all you guys at home that are not with us right now, I wanted to remind you guys that I'm just rambling right now because I'm trying to do a live video. I want to include all of you guys with us as we do this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this story.
You go.
And we are going to jump right. Look at this. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Live. There we are. We have it right there. We are live. Yes. Join over at the YouTube Wayne and YouTube channel. Hit us up. We are live right now. You guys are Don't miss out. Don't miss out. You don't want to miss out. John, do they want to miss out? They can't.
They definitely do not want to miss out.
He says you don't want to miss out.
Let's
either.
go.
So join us over there at our YouTube channel. I'm weighing in. Don't miss out.
I just spilled my element.
Lovely.
Damn.
Lovely. All right, guys. Hey, we're gonna let some stuff build up. But Dave, I don't see you enough, man.
I know what's going on.
I don't see you enough, man. I don't know what's going on. Dave.
Why'd you leave me out?
I never leave you out. I want to include you always. It's a beautiful smile. You got a six pack. I don't these days. I'm really jealous.
Ooh.
To be old, huh? To be old.
Yeah, I know. I realize you've gotten it by playing soccer with those geriatric kids.
No. No, I actually run every day. I ran 10 miles today.
Oh, now it's 10?
Sometimes. Actually, all summer I've not been able to hit 10. I've been way too fatigued, but I finally got my shit together last weekend.
Today?
Got 10 last
It's like
week.
you get that runner's high, huh? It's kind of like
I think I'm kind of on the back end of that. I think I'm just kind of like doing it because like I can maintain it now. Like it's just one of those things I've got like built in, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome, and keep doing it because you will break down.
Yeah. Wow, that is so mean. That is
hold on, dude. Have you ever done what's called rucking?
Is it like hiking, right? Where you have like a stick and a
it's hiking with a weighted like vest or
okay.
backpack or anything like that. It'll kick your ass. I mean, it just absolutely destroys you. Depends on how much weight you put on and stuff. But I was watching the thing with, you know who Mike Rowe is? Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
Good
he
guy.
got a bunch of flack for something, right? For being political about some stuff.
Oh, he gets flack for everything. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He is funny as hell. But he's sitting there and he's talking, he's rucking. And he says he's rucking with 65 pounds. And he's doing 8 miles with the 65-pound pack.
Wow.
That's freaking, that is awesome.
Yeah, you know what's funny, John? When I would run a half a marathon every other Sunday in fight camps for about 8 weeks. I'd run a half marathon. And I'd run 3 to 5 miles the other 2 days during the week. So usually Tuesday, Thursday, sprints for Monday, Wednesday, and other way around. Monday, Wednesday would be the running, and then Tuesday, Thursday would be the sprints, and then Saturday morning sprints as well. Sundays would be the long distance run with my coach, who was on a bike, by the way.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Smart man.
But I realized that at 13 miles was kind of like my breaking point. People were like, and it didn't matter how much I ran. 13 miles was that point where I was just like, my feet don't feel comfortable anymore. I'm not really enjoying this. It's kind of boring. And it didn't even matter. I wasn't tired. I just was like, this is boring now. It was almost like why I never lifted weights. Lifting weights was so freaking boring.
No, lifting weights is great. It was boring from the first 100 yards that you took off. Running is boring.
For me, like I enjoyed the run. I'm sure Dave's going through this whole process right now. You enjoy the run. You enjoy being outside. You enjoy being
run. Done.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to a point. I enjoy it. I get to a point though where I'm just like, man, I'm just not. I'm getting to a point where I'm just like, I'm not. I like it. I enjoy it. But now what am I doing? I'm just kind of wasting my time. I guess.
Time?
Well, sorry, but like 8 miles, 10 miles, because I would do a half marathon every other Sunday. with my coach who was riding a bike. And then I would go at like mile 13, you're like, all right, I can still keep going, but it really, I'm just like, it's kind of just boring now. It's like, okay, we're just hanging out. We've already talked about everything we could talk about in a 13-mile run, And so, and we're not setting records or anything, but we're running a good pace. There's some, we're running at Silver Creek. You know where Silver Creek is, right? The backside there by Bernal. So we'd come in on Almaden and we'd run up through the backside, come over on the backside of Silver Creek, end up on Santa Teresa, and then run back over. Like, you've already talked about everything you can. I'm just like, okay, what else?
But what about the fitness component? Isn't that the whole purpose?
Yeah, but I was a fighter, so I'm not worried about the fitness component. Like, I was already running 2 mile, two other times, 3 to 5 miles a day.
You're probably the biggest cardio advocate though in the whole of MMA.
I am. I truly believe that cardio is key when it comes to fight. Look, we had Michael Bisping on today. For those of you guys that don't know, we had Michael Bisping on today. That show's going to drop hopefully probably early next week, like Monday. And I want to just like he's somebody is a true testament of someone who he wasn't the best striker, he wasn't the best wrestler, wasn't the best grappler. But the fact that he could really wear you out in terms of just the way he can move in, move out, hit you with some shots, make you frustrated, make you fight at his pace. He was somebody that he took the most out of what he was given by God and just he maximized it.
He maximized it with cardio.
With cardio. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, he not only did he maximize with cardio though, but that cardio led him to being sometimes better strikers than most of those strikers that were better than him in round one. He ended up being the better striker because they didn't know what to do with somebody who could strike that well for that period of time for 3 hard rounds or 5 hard rounds. He just maximized everything, stuffing takedowns. And, I don't think I've ever seen him in his life shoot a takedown, but still.
I'll tell you this, when you talk about your running though, because I would go and I'd run with you, but if you're talking, I'm not talking. That's one thing. You could talk all the time. I'll listen the whole time, but the only thing you'll get from me back is yep, nope, because I am concentrating on breathing.
Yeah, yes, I can see that. I guess for me, like the long run is more of a casual run. You're running like a 7.5, 8 minute pace, whatever it is. I guess
for me.
I know, but that's 13.5 miles. It's a long distance. It's a long time. So I'm just chatting, we're talking, whatever. When I'm running by, like when I run with somebody else and it's 3 miles, 5 miles, that's what I think Dave is talking about, that cardio component. I'm trying to set paces. I'm literally like, the only person I'm challenging is myself. But when I was doing the 13-mile thing, I'm literally like, just this is I say it my relaxed day, my down day. We're just cruising.
I was in the academy, and you got to understand the LA Academy is where I went was the old one. It's in Elysian Park, and it's all hills. I mean, fucking giant ass they're running you up and down hills the whole time. Yeah. But we take off on this run, and I was what was called a road guard at the time because they did that to punish me. Because the road guard you had to run with a fucking baton in your hand, and you had to fucking run ahead of everyone and stop and run in place to stop traffic for the whole group as the recruiter. And then they would pass you by, and then you had to run faster than them. It was miserable. But all of a sudden we're running, and I'm the road guard. I'm running thing, and the guy who's the lead of it, the PT instructor, says, "All right, that's a 6-minute mile. Let's keep it up." And I'm thinking, I'm gonna fucking die.
There's just no way.
6-minute mile. They were trying to kill me.
Well, I had people trying to tell me that, hey, they try to convince me to run a marathon with them. No, I was like, I don't even think about this. There's times where I get in the car and it's 26 minutes away. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, that's far.
A long ways.
Like, I don't even like to drive sometimes 26 miles, right? You're like, I got to go to my aunt's house 26 miles
different.
away.
It's different when you need to do something, but then it isn't when like you're preparing for like a run. When you're preparing for the run.
You're right. It's different. Like it's way easier just to jump in the car and run and go drive 26 miles.
You're preparing for a challenge versus like, oh, I gotta go take us over to my aunt's house 25 minutes away.
26 minutes away. It's ridiculous, bro. I get in the car, I'm like 26 minutes. Nah, I'm good, man. Nah, I'm good. I'll pass.
I did the half this year in Austin, and I really enjoyed it. But then like running since then has been kind of like, I've been doing it every day, but there's some days I'm like, oh, I just gotta like get up and do it, but then it's like yesterday, for example, I did 5 miles, and my last 2 miles were sub 7.
Yeah.
Where mostly through the summer I'm like 7:30ish because it's really hot. So like to get 2 sub-7 in my last 2 miles as opposed to my first 2 miles was like I felt pretty good. So there's always just something as well. Like I think there's always something to attain.
Yeah, but can I tell you this though? The reason why you're getting that is that your body's a little bit more run down. You're a little bit, I wouldn't say overtrained, because I know that's all you do is run. But it's like it's true though. I bet you if you gave yourself about 3 or 4 days off from not running, no drinking, no partying, none of that stuff. Okay. But if you gave yourself 3 or 4 days off and just consumed, good, healthy food, you'd probably be able to come back. Your first mile might be a little slow because you feel a little like kind of getting yourself back into it. But your next 3 or 4 miles after that would probably be next level.
Okay.
I bet you'd probably be able to run in the low 6s. Or probably in the low, in that 6:10, 6:15, somewhere in there. If you really want to push yourself, maybe even lower than the 6 if you can get there.
And
I'm not sure what your pace is.
if you take more time off, like 2 weeks off, and you just dream about running, you're gonna feel even better.
It really is like when you're doing it every single day, your body just sometimes needs that break. It also gets you back into that runner's high. Like you feel like you want it again. See, when you're doing what you're doing, you're chasing that feeling of like, I can still go. It feels good to be there.
Tell him he's chasing the dragon. He's chasing the dragon.
You're right. Yeah. No, I know you're right. It's the stubbornness of like, I just don't want to like taking a day off. Just like sounds painful, sounds more painful than my knees.
But it's that they also too, taking the day off, it just ruins the routine. Is once you start breaking the routine, it's easier just to say like, no, I'll just do it again tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do 2 tomorrow. I'll do it.
Exactly.
It starts ruining the routine.
Yeah,
I get it. But I feel like if you set a goal like, hey, if I give myself legitimately, if you give yourself like an 8 or 9, anywhere between 8 to 10 days rest, before you do any like marathon or run like that, you'll see a significant jump in your numbers.
I probably should as well. My calves I'm starting to really feel it daily in my calves, like just really feeling like just sore, stiff, like almost like I need to go for a massage. But I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like that's not gonna make it.
On the next episode of Runner's High, we're gonna talk about
John's jealous. John hasn't ran in 30 years.
Oh, dude. I wish.
Well, speaking of chasing, if you really want to jump into this, speaking of chasing, Cowboy Cerrone is chasing that high, looking at a potential return here. He's saying he wants to get 2 more fights back in, get that 50 fights under Zuffa. And then obviously I'm sure everybody's seen it. So point is that the talk is the Tony fight is kind of like that comeback fight that everybody would want to see. So I want to get your take on Cowboy coming back. He's admitted to being on TRT. He's got to piss clean, as he put it. Is a Tony fight the right fight? They already fought, obviously, but is that the fight that we do to get him back in the mix? And then does he do it? Is that 50 number that important for him to come back and potentially, not get the results he might be looking for?
I mean, first he's got to get clean. That's one, which is hilarious. He's all I got to get off these. He's all I got to get off these steroids.
Well, no, okay, but you get off the steroids, and I'm not saying. And let's say he pisses clean. Does that mean that he still does not carry some benefits from what they've done for him?
He's clean, John.
Okay. Look at it. I always go with, if you piss clean, you're clean. You piss dirty, then you're dirty. So, but you can't tell me there can't be some effect of benefit from doing it. I mean, you can take a look at him. Look at the way he looks.
Yeah,
he looks
in
good.
6 months. In 6 months, he may not look like that, John.
Then he needs to get away from the fighting stuff. Go back to the TRT.
Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna look like. This is a classic case of fighters not really sure what to do after fighting.
Yes,
and in his case, it may not be a bad thing. Like, he's somebody that he chases the high. You can tell whether it's wakeboarding, whether
doesn't matter.
Snowmobiling,
he
doesn't
is
matter.
an
Bull
adrenaline
riding.
junkie.
Yeah, he's chasing the high.
Yeah.
But fighting leaves a void for all of us. You just got to try to figure out what replaces that void. We talked to Bisping a little bit about it for him. I've talked to it with Jens Pulver. We talked about it with other fighters that we've had on. You're chasing that void, man. And I don't know what it is right now. He can fill that void with, another fight, maybe 2. and go from there. And I'm happy for him. He's somebody that he fought a lot of fights. I don't think he ever took a ton of damage, John. Like the Nate Diaz fight, he took a lot of shots.
He took a lot of shots in the Nate fight, but it was, you can go back and there's several fights you can look at and say he took some damage in those fights.
But John, for a guy who has 50 fights, he did take some damage. But I mean, like some of them were younger in his career. They were spread out, I guess, over time is what I'm trying to say. They weren't like, they weren't like with me, right? Like I took like some damage one fight early in my career. That didn't have any damage. I had like some damage, like one fight, the Clay Guida fight took damage.
Yeah,
that didn't have any other damage, really. I mean, the Gilbert fights added up, but it was mainly all towards the end of my career. Like with him, it was like a little bit in the beginning, a little bit in the middle, a little bit at the end. I think for him, he was just kind of chasing the high. And when he didn't have the chance to be the champion anymore, he's like, all right, cool. I'm just going to step away and, and just kind of did what I was doing. He chased the Conor fight, got the Conor fight, didn't go the way he wanted. Just kind of that feeling. Okay, what's next? The Conor fight was like an ultimate high. Didn't end the way he wanted it to, but it was that chance to chase that big money thing. I heard he didn't get paid anymore, but I don't know if that's true or not, because everyone keeps telling me that he did, but then people are telling me he didn't, regardless of all that. But chasing it, getting that fight, not having the outcome you wanted, you kind of get flat after that. Then he goes away, gets juiced out, gets the confidence back, whatever it is, confidence, or gets that feeling of excitement back, whatever it is. Yeah. And then he gets off the juice again. Here he's off the juice, and he's going to get back into the testing pool, and we're going to get an opportunity to see. We're going to get an opportunity, a chance, and see the fight, and I'm looking forward to it.
No, look, you're right about him not taking a lot of damage. I can think of several fights. The Darren Till fight, he took some big shots. Even George Masvidal, he took some big shots in that. But no, I mean, you take a look at his fight against Justin Gaethje. He wasn't out, but he got hurt, and so you can take a look at some of them and say, all right. And near the end is when I'm really looking at, he would, like when he fought Alex Morano, that was one, he just started getting lit up. And so, and that I just look at it, what it tells me is what I've always said is, as you get a little bit older, the speed and the ability you'll see something. You'll see everything that is being, you know exactly what's occurring, but you don't have the ability to get your body where you want it to be in reaction to it. And, that's not going to change. How old is Donald now? 40, 41,
41, I think.
41. Yeah. See, so, 41. I mean, that's, speed wise, that's never coming back. I don't care what you do. It ain't going to come back. It's good. You're not going to be as fast as you were. I have no problem with Donald Cerrone coming back as long as the UFC is smart in who they put him against, and be it in another guy who's an older fighter. They kind of were doing that a little bit. I think wasn't his last fight against Jim Miller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
Was it? Okay. And so you take a look and you go, all right, as long as he's fighting older guys like that, and look, Jim Miller's an older guy, but that's the right kind of matchup for him. I don't have a problem with it at all. I don't like when, they're going to use him as a stepping stone for the young guy who's up and coming. I hate that, because it's just, you're asking for trouble, and normally it's the older guy that ends up being the one in trouble. So I don't want to see Donald in that position.
Give me some guy. Like, are we assuming that he's going to go to 70? Is he going to make that cut? I mean,
there's no way he's going to go to 55.
No, I'm thinking 85, John.
Okay, exactly. I'm
not thinking 55 at all. That's like I was thinking 85.
No, it could be 85. It really could be.
Because even him walking around beforehand, he had to cut weight to get to 70. I don't know how much he had to cut, but he had to cut weight to get to 70.
Yeah.
I mean, being
70 wasn't. His frame is okay for 70. His frame's not good for 185.
No, I get it. But I mean, we're not talking about him fighting the top 15 guys though at 185. I mean, I honestly wouldn't mind seeing him and Kevin Holland.
See, Kevin Holland's way bigger as far as
Kevin can fight at 70.
Yeah, he could.
I mean, it's a fight where Kevin's hasn't looked the best. Coming, he'll have rib injury coming on. I'm like, You know, I mean, he still has a lot left in the wheelhouse there.
Oh, Kevin's gonna be around for a while.
Yeah, he'll be around for a while. But I'm simply saying, like, and I know you were saying like not have the young guy beat the old guy, but I don't give a fuck what Donald shows up. He's not an easy fight for anyone.
I'm not saying he is.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that they're talking about the Tony Ferguson fight.
That's a good fight.
They both have a bunch of losses at the end of their career.
Yeah.
So it matches up well. Age-wise, it matches up well. Style-wise, it matches up well. Everything. That's a good fight to put. I don't have a problem with that one at all. Where I do have a problem is if you take, Donald and then you say, okay, we're going to move him to, let's say 185. And they put him against someone who's, a young, fast rising stud. Let's say, and I'm not going to say, Brendan Allen, but they wouldn't put him against Brendan, I know, but, no, you can't do that,
Yeah.
But.
I mean, look, I think the Tony Ferguson fight is a perfect fight for him. Let's just be honest. I think that's probably the best fight for both of them to come in. That'd be a fantastic fight. Where do you go for his 50th fight, though? I don't know. I don't know where you go from there. We'll see how good he looks if he looks good against Tony or not.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, John? I might get myself out of retirement a little bit and maybe try to get that fight with Donald too, man. Because
you'll be the old guy in that matchup.
No, but Cerrone's always like the guy that I've always wanted to fight. It was like him and Pettis were the top two guys I wanted to fight when I came over from Strikeforce. Never happened. Maybe, I gotta just knock it off a little bit, get a little stretching going. The old Thai style.
Be careful how you stretch. You might pull something there.
I almost did my back. Shit. Damn. But look, I'm excited to have him back. He's a fantastic person. He's always been.
He's great for the sport.
Fighter. Absolutely.
He's phenomenal. I don't want someone to think that I'm like, saying something bad about him because I love the guy. I don't want him to be in a position where it was the wrong move.
No, you're talking reality. That's the problem. Like you're a realist. Not always, but you're a realist. In this situation, you're being real. But no, I understand. I think outside of the Tony fight, you have to see exactly how he fights, how he does. Yeah. And then we kind of go from that, from there, and we see kind of where he's at. Pull up the top 15 rankings there, Dave.
At 170 right here.
Yeah, it's 70. I think Kevin Holland's number 15, or he was, right?
Kevin Holland is not in there right now.
Oh, he's not. Okay, so he must have dropped.
He just lost, yeah.
I mean,
Neil Magny's in there, Michael Van Page, Vicente.
Neil's getting older too. Neil Magny's getting older.
Neil Magny would be a decent matchup right there.
Okay. What about a Vicente Luque? Oh, Nick Diaz.
Nick is 185.
But I think he would fight Nick at 185. I think he'd be like, you know what? Screw it. Let me just fight Nick. I think that's a great fight. That's a perfect fight. Cerrone versus Nick Diaz. Sign me up.
So he fought both of them. Fought the Diaz brothers.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
I like it. Josh,
I like it.
They need to hire you, dude.
Yeah. Hunter Campbell, Mick Maynard. Give me a call, brother.
Yeah.
I got some
25,000 a year. That's all he costs.
Oh, geez. I think it'd be great, man. But that's a good fight. Look, if Nick gets past Vicente Luque, and let's just say Cowboy gets past Tony Ferguson, makes for a fun fight.
It does.
Yeah, and I think if you do it at 185, I saw some of the training from Nick on his
looking
Instagram.
Okay.
He looks okay. He looks a little bit slender. Not slender.
He looks much slimmer than he did for his fight with Robbie Lawler.
Yep.
And you can tell that he's in shape. He's looking good. He's doing things that you look and you go, all right. That's the Nick Diaz that we all remember and everything, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep, I'm looking forward to seeing him.
You're never gonna be in a position where you look and say Nick Diaz can't fight. The guy can fight. Mm-hmm. He is just a fucking fighting machine. I'm not saying it's that he loves it, but man, he can do it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't think he ever loved fighting.
No, he didn't.
No, you talk to him a little bit. You get to, there was a conversation. Did you ever see the video with Gina Carano? How she was like, kind of when she first met Nick, how she thought he was going to be this tough guy, and all of a sudden he was a complete gentleman. like pulled her chair out for her and just like trying to like talk to her. And he just is such and honestly, every interaction I've ever had with that guy has been fantastic. He's always been a really good guy.
John, sorry, on you go.
Huh?
I was going to say, John, just confirming that the Vicente Luque fight with Nick is 170. You said 85.
Is it 170?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
There we go.
There you
Cerrone and Nick, if both of them can get past their first round, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I mean,
yeah, we're not the ones having a freaking withdrawal.
Right.
All the hell.
I just talked about I get tired walking to the mailbox. these guys in their 40s are getting ready for another fight.
That's why you have a golf cart, dude.
Yeah, this is very true. I back it up, pull it right up to the
pull it up to the mailbox, pull it open,
grab
get the mail,
yeah,
drive right to the front door.
Drive back in. Yeah. Score. Dave, what else? What do you got for us? Hey, before we move on though, this episode is brought to you by LMNT. I say episode, but this live chat is actually brought to you by LMNT. Man,
LMNT.
Stay salty, my friends. Product is amazing. I like the watermelon. John's got the citrus.
This is what happens. The dents happen when you drop it.
Oh, geez, John. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 600 milligrams of magnesium. This stuff is fantastic. And for those of you guys who like to run, this is actually a really good product for you.
Yeah, boy.
Actually,
Dave should be just pounding it, just pounding down the elements, pumping it through his system.
And also to this episode is brought to you by BetUS. Want to keep saying episodes. This live chat, this live stream, live chat, all of it brought to you by BetUS. Make sure you guys make sure you guys go to YouTube 150. I want to keep saying the descriptions because we had them in the descriptions for so long.
Yeah,
the link in there. But then we actually started doing a new promo code for you guys called YouTube 150. They give you 150% bonus on your first deposit. Then they give you another 125% bonus on your next two deposits. So check them out over at BetUS. Dave, what else you got for us, buddy?
What's up in this UFC Fight Night card? We got Anthony Hernandez versus Mikael Pereira.
You know, I always get Hernandez and D-Rod mixed up. And the fact that they're fighting 1 week after each other.
Yeah, but one was the main event, one was not. One was the start of the show. So
yeah, I get it. But good. All right. So hey, Anthony Hernandez versus Michel Pereira. What do you think, buddy?
I tell you what, I think Anthony Hernandez has really come into his own as a fighter. I think he's a guy that, man, he knows how to win now. He knows how good he is in certain situations. Now, Mikael Pereira is just an amazing athlete, super big. He's even big at 185. I can't believe he used to make 170. But he does slow down, and he is not he's decent on the ground, but he is not Anthony Hernandez level on the ground. Stand-up wise, I think he's got better stand-up as far as flash and the spinning attacks and everything. I'm going with Anthony Hernandez. I go with the guy that, you know what? He never stops. He never gives in. He never freaking, in any position you say, oh, he's going to break. Nope, not that guy. You might beat him.
Yeah,
but he ain't going to break. I think Anthony Hernandez has come into his own with the UFC, and he's way better than people understand.
Yeah, I would agree with you. He's just kind of he's been underestimated the whole time. He's slowly made his gains. He's now the main event. And Michel Pereira has always had a little hype around him because of the wild, crazy things he does inside the cage. But I think that Anthony Hernandez is someone that will find a way to win this fight. Whereas Pereira will probably make some sort of mistake along the way. He'll be wild. He'll be crazy. And I think he hasn't been slowing down as much though, John, since being at 185 versus 170.
True. He's got better gas.
He's got better gas. Whereas before he'd get maybe a round and a half in, and then he was exhausted. You could just tell he'd slow down drastically.
Yeah.
Then guys could start trying to basically take the fight to him and get him to fight off of his back foot. Hernandez is going to be he's going to be constantly in his face, constantly growing on him, trying to either get him taken down or try to just touch him on the feet. He's going to have to change up some stuff, but I think the size may be a little bit of a problem though, I think, for Hernandez. But as I say that, John, I remember the Rodolfo Vieira fight. And Rodolfo Vieira was huge compared to Anthony Hernandez, and he just started fading away. As he faded away, he couldn't fight his way out of a wet pepper sack at that moment, and ended up getting submitted by Anthony Hernandez. World class Adolfo
world champion.
World champion.
Not even world class. World champion.
Yeah, world class. Yeah. And so, look, Pereira's going to probably make some mistakes because that's the way he fights. Just Anthony Hernandez got to make sure he can capitalize on those mistakes when they come.
Yep.
So that makes for a fun fight. Good main event. The next fight, though, is the one that I'm probably most excited for.
I love this fight. I love
Great
this fight.
fight.
Yeah. Kyler Phillips taking on Rob Font. Kyler is really coming into his own. This is a kid that was in a gi in the jiu-jitsu mats as a little guy and just continued to evolve as a fighter. Since he's gotten into the UFC, he has just continued as far as, man, he's good everywhere now. And his wrestling is good. His ground game is phenomenal. His stand-up is slick as hell. Rob Font obviously has got great stand-up. He's got underrated ground. He doesn't get the credit for having the ground game that keeps him out of trouble a lot. He's not a guy that goes after a ton of submissions like Phillips. But this is, in my opinion, this is like, I know they're rated close to each other. I don't know where they're at on the thing. Dave, where are they at with it? I know Font is rated ahead of him, I believe.
Font is 10 and
Phillips is where? Probably
12.
Yep. Okay. So 2 off. And I look and I go, this is not one of those ones that the UFC setting this up like, oh, let's see what Rob Font's going to have to fight his ass off to get a win against Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips is coming up, and I'm not saying Rob Font is done, but we've seen basically where he can go to, and I don't know if we've seen exactly where Kyler Phillips can go to. I'm going to take Kyler Phillips in this fight.
Yeah, Kyler Phillips is somebody that is feeling the confidence, his fluidity inside the cage. He understands how to strike from positions. He understands how to flow off of the movement and strike from that fluid motion. He's doing a great job, man.
Yeah,
he's doing a great job. He's good on the ground. He's good on the feet. He'll mix it up. He will wrestle a little bit. He'll stuff takedowns. It's kind of wherever benefits him the most is where he'll take this fight. And I just feel like he's extremely confident in his skills right now. And that's kind of where you want to be as you're fighting someone like a Rob Font, who is in the top 4 or 5 rankings for a while, and knowing that you've got to get past that person to go ahead and elevate yourself to that next level of fighters. I think Kyler Phillips is definitely, I would agree with you, is probably the one that is on the right path in rising and getting up in the rankings. It's with Rob Font, he's just a little bit too one-dimensional for me. One-dimensionable. One-dimensional.
There you go.
Jeez, Josh, get it together.
I like it. It's dimensionable.
One-dimensional.
That man is dimensionable.
Yeah. Now, the more I keep saying it, I keep saying it.
I'm trying to put it in your head. You'd be in trouble.
Geez. But I'm going to lean towards Kyler Phillips as well.
Okay. With the next one, we got Charles Johnson, who has been just, I enjoy watching Charles Johnson fight, man. I hate his haircut. His little thing in the back is just horrible. But man, the dude can fight. And he's athletic, and he is going up against the man that normally goes by one name. We're going to go Sumderjay, and very tough opponent for him, man. This is going to be an interesting. They both can wrestle. They both like to stand on the feet and bang. So it's an interesting matchup. I'm not too sure about this one.
Yeah, I think Charles with the speed, his movement, I think he's going to be a little bit too much for him. However you say this guy's name, Sumderjay, whatever. He's too much of a straightforward fighter. I think Charles Johnson's going to be able to just to touch, kicks, push kicks up the middle, all those things.
If he does, that's a big win because he's fighting a very talented fighter. And Charles Johnson is talented too. And he's on a streak right now. He's been really looking good and fighting well. So I can understand why you're picking Charles.
Any other fights on this card you want to chat about?
Yeah, I got to go with the same on the main card. Brady Hiestand against Jake Hadley. Jake Hadley's fun to watch.
Yes, he is.
He's a doer. He's a goer. He's a grinder. I really enjoy watching him. But you got to look at the fight that is starting off the main card. You got the man, Darren Elkins, going up against another veteran in Daniel Pineda. That's actually a really interesting fight.
Is.
Damage Elkins against a guy who is just a tough son of a bitch in Pineda.
Yeah, I mean, look, Elkins is someone that doesn't matter what happens in the fight, you just cannot count him out. He'll still be there at the last second of the third round. He will still be there trying to
Still
get
be
that
working.
win.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that definitely should be a great. And no, the UFC is smart. What they do is, and other fight promotions have done this as well. But I'm saying the UFC is smart. They know what fighters are going to get the fans up on their feet and get them ready for the night of action.
Yeah.
And this is one of those fights. So Daniel Pineda versus Darren Elkins, great fight. But John, I'm going to rewind you all the way back to the main event. Michel Pereira right now is an underdog against Anthony Hernandez. So I'm over at BetUS. The betting odds there. Michel Pereira is a plus 110. Anthony Hernandez is a minus 140. The over on this is 2.5 at plus 105, and the under of 2.5 is minus 135. So they think there's going to be a finish in this fight.
I think they're right. Yeah,
who's he going to be?
Anthony. I picked Anthony Hernandez to win that.
To win by submission?
Yeah.
Man. I mean, if you're the betting odds, though, right? You're thinking under 2.5. Michel Pereira could finish him by knockout.
Sure.
And Hernandez could win by submission.
Yep. Or Hernandez can win by ground and pound because he's got good ground and pound.
He does have good ground and pound. He doesn't get the credit he deserves for that.
Nope.
He does. But minus 140, plus 110.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking at that. I'm kind of looking at the Anthony Hernandez at minus 140, and I'm like, I could take that fight.
I would take that
bet.
Yeah.
I'll take that. All right. And then also back up to Kyler Phillips over Rob Font. Kyler Phillips is a minus 425, John.
Whoa. Look at that.
Does that sound like?
And that's where you look and you go, see, this is where odds makers are going, no, you're not. I don't care that Rob Font is the higher ranked fighter.
Yes.
I know who's hot. I know who's looking good right now. And I know who is plateaued. And I really think that Rob at that point, he's got to prove something and bringing something out that he had before where he was able to light guys up. He hasn't been able to do that. And Phillips is not an easy target.
He's not. No, but look, we got to remember Rob Font when he fought Chito, man, was piecing up Chito, except for the last 30 seconds of every round.
That's exactly it. He lost all those rounds. There were rounds, I mean, you could actually almost give him still, but he was winning the entire round and then would get hit with a shot that would drop him or something like that. And you go, and Chito puts it on him for the remaining 35 to 45 seconds of the round. And he takes the round, and you look and you go, that was Rob Font's round. He had that round, but he got hit with a shot and it hurt him, And so it's just one of those, firepower. He's got it as far as volume, as far as big shot. He's not that big, heavy puncher.
No,
where I don't think Kyler is that big, heavy puncher himself.
Nope.
But he can match him with volume, and he definitely has the ground on his side.
Yeah. And Kyler Phillips has got good cardio, too.
Oh, yes, he does.
So when I'm looking at that fight at minus 425 for Kyler Phillips and plus 325 for Rob Font, the over on 2.5 is minus 225, which is probably going to go over the 2.5. Yeah. This is a little bit too rich for my blood. You're having to put too much money in one way or the other to get this win on this, and I think I'm out on this fight. So if I was to bet on this fight, but if I'm coming all the way down here because you were just talking about it, you can talk about the Daniel Pineda and Darren Elkins fight minus 114, minus 115.
There you go.
It doesn't get much. You might as well just said even money.
It is even money.
You might as well just said. I don't know why they even put the odds out like that. Just say even money. Yeah. But I mean, this is a great fight. If I was to bet on it, look, can Pineda get him away? Not many people have been able to do it. And Darren Elkins can keep going and keep going. Can Pineda's cardio handle Darren Elkins' jaw?
That's the real question right there. Yeah. This is a question of what's going to break first, Pineda's cardio or Elkins' jaw. Really, it's because Elkins is going to get hurt. He gets hurt in almost every fight, but he holds on. He drags the fight to the ground. He recovers and he comes back. I'm not saying he's not going to get hurt in this fight because I think he is. Can he hold on, recover, and come back and break down Daniel Pineda with that unbelievable pressure and grind that he brings? Because look, he's called the damage, and part of that is he's getting damaged.
Yeah.
God damn, he is a tough son of a bitch, and he just doesn't stop.
John, the over at 2.5 is plus 135. You might want to take that because both of these guys are tough as nails, and there's a good chance to go the distance.
Yeah.
Because Darren Elkins can take a beating. Now he can also get the finish too. So I mean, but I'm saying for it to go to over 2.5, I can see both these guys being a slobber knocker and going the full distance.
Yep,
anyway.
Absolutely.
Hey, this episode, that partial of the episode was brought to you by BetUS. I want to thank you guys so much. And hey, before we move on, make sure you guys subscribe to us over at OnlyFans. We are continuing our partnership over there for the time being, and we like what we're doing over there. So make sure you guys join us. We will be over there after this to talk about what, Dave? What are we talking about over there?
Talking about Bilal Muhammad versus Shavkat for the title.
Yes, that was just announced. We are going to talk about that fight over there on OnlyFans. It is a free subscription. Make sure those of you guys that are already following us over there, head on over there right after this live chat, and we're going to head over there for a live chat specifically for all of our fans that are over there. We have about 800 fans and subscribers over there already, so we're trying to build that up. I think it's actually jumping closer to 9 now. I want to thank you guys so much. That was a little bit of a yawn there, Dave. I saw that little stinky face. He was like trying to hold it in. But make sure you guys head on over there right after we drop from here, and we're gonna talk about the Shavkat and Bilal Muhammad fight. Man, looking forward to that. Dave, what you got, buddy?
All right, let's hop into the PFL this weekend.
Yes,
PFL. The PFL has a pay-per-view. Giants, Battle of the Giants. Brace for impact.
John, I don't get it.
What don't you get?
Why are you doing pay-per-views when nobody watches your shows?
That is because they have investors that they have given, look, this is our plan. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to do pay-per-view. So when you say you're going to do pay-per-view and you say we're going to do this many pay-per-views a year, Josh, you got to do that many pay-per-views a year.
Yeah. I just wish there was another way for them to say, look, if you're fighters, you have Francis Ngannou on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Let's be honest. You take a look at this card. There's a lot of money going out on fighter.
There's a ton. Card. Well, they took Fabian and Johnny Eblin off the other Bellator card and put them on this one.
Put them on this one.
And so I know that's an expensive fight right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, they've also got AJ McKee and Paul Hughes.
Yep.
Rafael Stotts and Breno.
Yep. That one's not that much money.
Well, Stotts had re-signed right before his.
Stotts is doing okay.
Yeah, Stotts is doing okay. I don't know what Breno's making, but still, those fights. I mean, obviously, Cyborg and Larissa Pacheco. That's a big fight. Yeah, big fight. So, I don't know, John. And they actually have Pacheco as the favorite. Silence.
But Pacheco has been the favorite since that fight was announced. It is hysterical. If you watch, they actually have fighters from the PFL and ones that were from Bellator talking about the fight. You got Brent Primus who's fighting in the PFL now, but it was Bellator. Mm-hmm. Every Bellator fighter picks Cyborg. Every PFL fighter picks Larissa Pacheco. So it's one of those you look and you go, if you're being honest as you're looking at it, you can say Larissa Pacheco, she's got 2 losses to Kayla Harrison. She's also got the only win against Kayla Harrison. All right. She's 30 years old compared to Cyborg, who is now 38, 39.
Yeah.
I want to say she's 39.
Okay.
39. Yep.
39. So that's a big thing when you look at it, no matter what anyone wants to say, there's a big age difference there.
And she hasn't fought in over a year and a half in MMA.
That's right. But she has been active. She has been boxing, and she has been doing a lot of different jumping around training in different places. And she always stays in shape. She never gets out of shape. So the fact that she hasn't been fighting, neither has Larissa Pacheco. Mm-hmm. What was Larissa Pacheco's last fight was against, she was in the season for the 145 pound.
Did she fight Aspen Ladd last?
She fought
Marina Spivak.
Marina, the one that you can't say and I can't say.
Okay.
But that was a year ago, basically.
Got it.
So she hasn't fought in a year either. So no, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So before you then dive into the actual fights, give me your thoughts on these title belts that they made for the super fights.
It's hard for me to see that thing.
I mean, there's a lot of money going into things that don't make a difference.
Yeah.
And look at this is going to be my. I really want them to be successful because I want fighters to have another avenue. They have to be. Yeah. And so I'm not trying to knock them. I just feel like it needs to be said that like I want them to succeed because I want fighters to have another choice, another option, either before going to the UFC or just to have another place they call home. Whichever, a lot of people used Bellator as a landing spot, or not a landing spot, but a transfer portal.
They use it as a jumping platform.
Yeah, they used it as a jumping platform to go to the UFC.
Sure.
A lot of them found it as a home.
Yes.
And I admire that, and I would like to have another one of those because when you have a competing promotion, it gives these fighters an opportunity to fight top level competition. Maybe it's not UFC heavy, maybe it's not UFC title competition, but it's still top level competition. I'm sorry, and I'm not sorry I'm saying this. AJ McKee could go to the 155-pound division there and he would do very well. He can go to the 145-pound division there and probably become the champion first fight if he decided he wanted to cut back down to 145.
I don't know about that.
There's tough fights.
There's some tough fights. Max is tough. Ilya is tough.
Absolutely. The title's there.
Volk is tough, but he would be in the top 5
for sure. But I'm saying, look, in any given day, those guys could be champion.
Sure.
Any given day. Like there's guys that are in Bellator, guys that are in PFL, guys that I'm like, man, they wouldn't stand a chance. And they're in the top 2 or 3. I'm like, they wouldn't stand a chance if they went to the UFC against that level of competition. It really depends. It depends on where they are at that time in their career, on where their confidence level is 1. 2 is who are the competition in there where are they at in their career? Volkanovski coming off the 2 losses, not a good thing. But then Max coming back from his spectacular knockout at 155, going back down to 45. Usman or Magomedov, if he was to come over, how would he do? There's all sorts of guys that I could mix into that mix there.
Look, if Usman goes over to the UFC, he's going to be a top guy there.
Yeah, he will be.
Okay, I'm not saying that because of Bellator. I'm saying that just because of Usman Nurmagomedov and his skill set. He's that freaking good, and could he beat? It's a question of it doesn't matter. People are saying, well, can he beat Islam? He's not going to fight Islam.
He would
That's
never
his
fight
training
Islam.
partner. That's his brother.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not going to fight him. So it has no bearing on anything. So now what you really got to look at is, would he beat a Justin Gaethje? Would he beat a Charles Oliveira? And those are the kind of guys that are there. Could he beat a Dustin Poirier? The question is out there. Could he? Yeah, he could. Now, could he lose to him too? Sure.
Yeah.
But he is undefeated, so he's beaten everyone. And the fact of how he fought his last fight says everything about who he is as a fighter and his skill set, because he's still so damn young. And you're going to have things happen when you're young as a fighter. You're going to make mistakes. He fought a guy in Shabli who we both know, look, this guy's good.
He's good.
He's a sniper. And he made Shabli have problems, and then made those problems compound during the fight to where Shabli started to drown. And you look and you go, man, if you can do that against that level of fighter, look out.
Yeah. Hey, so I was just looking at the super chats here, but I was just saying real quick, JG1227, shut your hole, buddy. Shut your hole. Look, Josh needs to chill out because Max is cooking AJ. I'm sorry, man. I love Max. I think I have Max winning over Ilya Topuria too, but neither one of those guys is cooking AJ. Neither one of them. Okay. It's going to be a tough fight both ways around. I just feel like AJ, look, he's only 28 years old. He's coming into his prime, and he's been doing this thing since he was a kid. So calm down, little buddy. Calm down. Okay. As far as then he goes on and say, well, look what happened to Chandler. Chandler came over when he was 36
Chandler's
years
35
old.
when he came
35
over.
or 36 when he came over.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
And hold it. Here's the big difference. Name me the person that has damaged AJ McKee. Nobody.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody. There was a lot of damage on Michael Chandler coming in. He had some wars. He had taken a lot of big damage in those wars.
Eddie Alvarez fights were nasty.
Oh, both of them. Both
They
of
were
Eddie Alvarez,
fantastic
especially the second one.
Yeah.
He took a lot of damage in that, and so you can look and you go, difference, big difference.
Yeah, chasing goats, Ghost 9. I feel like that's Podcast Dave's side chat thing. Says Podcast Dave is the goat. He's got a little.
Dave.
Yeah. All right. Hey, look, I know we got off track there, but I'm gonna have a little fun with this. John, what's your take on the main event there? The head of Ferreira versus Francis Ngannou.
I'm being honest. I don't know which way this is gonna go. And it's the reason why is Francis has been out of MMA for that long. You can look at him and he's got all the tools. And the big difference is, I'm going to tell you, this is a weird thing to say when you're talking about Francis Ngannou. He's a way better wrestler than Renan Ferreira. And if he takes Renan Ferreira off his feet, he can stay on top of him and he will do damage to him.
Yeah.
Renan Ferreira has to knock out Francis Ngannou. That's his way to victory. And he can do it. Look, he's big. He is strong. But Francis is big and strong too. They both hit hard and they both can knock each other out. But don't be surprised to see Francis Ngannou shooting in and taking Renan Ferreira down. Just like he did against Cyril Gane at a certain point. Yeah. Francis can wrestle. He's been doing it for a long time now. And it is not, it's not Daniel Cormier level wrestling, but God damn it, he can wrestle and he can take someone down that's trying to swing heavy shots. That's going to leave himself out of position. Look out. I think that might be part of his game plan.
I would hope it would be part of his game plan because Ferreira's got power to put you out. He's got the speed too to touch him on the chin. Yeah. He's also probably got the reach.
So 85-inch reach.
It's like my Johnson. Anyways, it's this. I'm just saying the speed, the reach, and it's not many people.
You might be saying 85 millimeters.
That's still pretty big.
No,
it's big enough. It's big enough. All you need is actually 2.5 or 3, is what I've heard.
Well, that's about 85 millimeters.
Gotta hit the spot. Look, it really just comes down to I think he's gonna have to threaten the takedown a little bit, at least a little bit, to get him to respect him.
Sure, it'll help.
Ferreira doesn't care. He will let the hands go at will. I think he's got faster hands than Francis. I don't think he has the power of Francis, but Francis is also coming off of a knockout.
Yeah.
So that's one. 2 is when he's been focusing a lot on boxing. And when I say, look, if you learn how to wrestle, you can always kind of rekindle it and you can learn it. But he never really learned how to wrestle. Like he didn't grow up wrestling.
No.
Like if you got me inside a wrestling room, it would take me probably, a couple weeks to probably get myself back to a level of decent wrestling.
Decency, yeah.
Yeah. He didn't grow up wrestling. So it's going to take him a little bit longer to get back into that wrestling mode and the mindset.
He's had that.
He's had what?
He's had that time. You got to figure he started coming back into MMA training right after the AJ.
But John, he got rid of the MMA training and focused literally like 2 years on boxing only.
I agree with you. I'm not saying that's the one concern that I really have for him in this fight is the fact that he has not. He's been in the ring, but he has not been in the cage and in quite a while, and that's the biggest thing when you're looking at it. His last fight was in 2022. In MMA, and I mean at the beginning of 2022. I think it was in January. It might have been February.
January.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So that's my concern with it.
Do you have any concern that he's coming off that knockout? He's not young, John. What is he, 41?
No,
Francis is younger.
Francis is what, 39?
37, I think.
38.
38.
Okay. Yeah. I do say it is the one thing that I worry about with anyone, but it's not like he got
he got
oh
no,
I'm saying he did, but it was a big shot and over. And so he got dropped 2 times in the fight.
Yep.
Big shot was the last one. It wasn't like he took a ton of damage, repeatedly throughout the fight and then got knocked out. So yeah, it worries me, but he's had enough time.
To me, it's the age thing that kind of worries me. That 38,
Yeah.
39, 37, 38, 39, 40. You
I
just don't
understand
take
why.
shots like you used to.
Yeah.
And how old's Fajeda? Like,
I want to say 30.
is he fucking baby?
34.
34.
Oh, he's
He's
34. Okay.
I
Totally
mean,
wrong.
he still has the speed. He's got the reach. I've never seen someone stand face to face to Francis and be like looking down on him outside of Tyson Fury, right?
Yeah,
Just like looking
true.
like, holy shit, just looking down on him.
That's true.
Anyways, it's something to consider. I look at that fight and I'm like, man, it's going to be a fun fight. If I was the betting odds on this, I mean, they don't even have an under on it, but I would say it's not going to go. I don't know. I don't think it's going to go around.
Yeah. Look,
If
I'm
I
going to
was a
say
betting man,
I'm betting the under.
yeah, I'm betting the under, whatever the under is.
Yeah.
I would agree with you on that. But look, BetUS has Francis Ngannou at a -310 and Henna Fajeda has a +205.
Yep.
I think it comes down to if Francis comes out and wrestles.
Yeah. That's what exactly
if he wrestles,
what
I'm going to lean towards Francis. If he doesn't wrestle, if he gives Fajeda a chance,
I lean. If he comes out trying to sling leather, I think he's going to have a problem. I think that the length of Heenan and the way that Heenan throws his shots, because he's got fast hands. Look at this. We don't sit there and talk about it. It's unusual. He's an athletic guy. Now, Francis is athletic, but it's unusual when a guy that's 6'8" and 280 pounds, when he's standing there, can do backflips, standing backflip. That's just not what the normal, giant does. So the guy he's freakishly athletic, and he's got very fast hands.
What's your take on the Pacheco versus Cyborg fight?
I'm being honest. I look at that fight, and it's amazing to me that they have Pacheco as the favorite. Because I'm being honest, when I look at it, I like Pacheco. I think she's a good fighter. I think she's fun to watch. I think she's aggressive. I think she's a lesser version of Chris Cyborg. I'm just being everywhere. Her striking is not quite as good. Her striking is what Cyborg's used to be. It's big winging shots. She throws a lot of big winging shots. She needs to narrow the scope of the angles that she's throwing from down. That's what Cyborg has done. Cyborg has straightened out a lot of her shots, where she throws straight shots now that get there quicker and still have power on them. I look at the striking area, and I got to go with Cyborg. I'm sorry. I just think she's just better overall in the striking. I look at the ground, and I know Larissa Pacheco, they're going to say, is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Well, so is Chris Cyborg. And I'm telling you right now, there's no way Larissa Pacheco is physically stronger than Chris. She may be as strong, we'll say, but she's not stronger. And when I know what I've seen out of Chris when she goes to the ground now, she's not going to have a problem unless she ends up in a bad position underneath. That'll be a problem. She's going to have to get herself out of it, and that's a problem for anyone. But it'll be the same thing for Larissa Pacheco. Everywhere I look, I go, I think Chris Cyborg is just a little bit better. The one thing that I do look and say for Larissa, she's younger. I like that about her. I like the fact she's younger, but I love the fact that Chris never takes days off. As far as she doesn't cheat. If it's supposed to be a day off, she takes the day off. But she's always doing the things she's supposed to be doing to make herself better. And I just think she wins the fight.
Yeah, Larissa at -135 and Chris Cyborg at a -105. I would probably put money down on Chris to win this fight.
Yep.
But I honestly believe Larissa's getting she's getting the respect she finally deserves.
Yes.
And if you go back and you watch her Kayla Harrison fight, she was able to win in some scrambles. She was able to get to the top position against Kayla Harrison. She was able to do things that no one else before that
no
was
one
able
else
to do.
done. That's right.
Exactly. So and I'm looking at what Kayla's doing over in the UFC. She's been able to maintain and control what those females are doing. So the one way to beat, I feel like, Chris Cyborg is to be able to get her down, take her down and control the top position. Can Larissa Pacheco do that? Will she do it? I think in a fight on the feet, Larissa's got enough power to put her lights out. And Chris's lights out. Now it's just a matter of, does Chris get reckless and careless in these exchanges like she did against Amanda Nunes? Because I think then that opens up the chances for Larissa Pacheco to win even more.
Absolutely right.
If she fights how she has been fighting, a little bit more slick.
Except for one fight.
Except for one fight.
Sinead Kavanaugh. She opened up and went back
Yeah,
to
she
being
did.
the
But she
brawler.
got rocked in that fight too.
Yeah,
she
she
went back to
did.
being the old one.
That's right.
But I feel like if she goes back to, working on the boxing, staying defensive, and letting the hands go when the opportunities present themselves, she could win this fight. I think it'd be a little bit easier of a fight for her to win.
She's the better as far as the boxing. Josh, there's no comparison.
Really?
No comparison.
You think that Chris Cyborg's the better boxer?
She's the better boxer. Hell, she's got real boxing matches under her belt.
I get it, John. I get it. But
I'm not saying it because of that. But what makes Chris who she is this is what Chris does. Chris comes in and now she uses a jab and she starts setting you back towards the cage, rushes in, grabs a hold of you, and starts to knee, throws an elbow, and then breaks off and tries to leave you with something to remember her for. And then tries to do it again. Larissa's got to stop that. She cannot be the person with her back to the cage.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying, you were saying better boxer.
She's the better boxer.
But then you talked about knee. That's not boxing, John.
I didn't say it was, but I'm saying in boxing, and that's where Larissa has been.
Yeah,
her bread and butter.
And I feel like in just straight boxing, Larissa, I think, is maybe equal, if not maybe a little bit better on the feet, technical wise. The thing with, I go back to, we're going to say this about Chris Cyborg forever. She's a hammer. She's a bully. She's in there. She's letting you, like you said, grabbing the clinch, knee, make space, big shots. She's somebody that she leaves herself open a lot on the feet when she throws. She's not clean and crisp. She gets wild and reckless with the stand-up in the MMA gloves because she can. I don't know if she can take that opportunity and chance to do that against Larissa Pacheco because she can't afford to get hit like she did against Amanda Nunes.
But I think that fight in and of itself was a horrible thing for her, but a great thing for her.
Could be, yeah.
Because it made her change. She realized I can't just sit and sling with these people. They can hurt me too. And I think she knows that Larissa could hurt her. Yeah. Larissa has that ability. She has the power. So she can't open up and do, a reckless brawl. She has to be a technical fighter. She knows that.
I agree. All right, next one is Johnny Eblen versus Fabian Edwards.
This is a rematch. Let's be honest. This was a championship fight once before. Fabian Edwards opened up a massive cut over Johnny Eblen's right eye with an elbow that sliced him open. Johnny Eblen, went back to his corner. They said, "You need to finish it." He goes, "No problem." Went out there and did it. Now, Fabian Edwards is an athlete. He's good. He's got very good stand-up. His defensive wrestling has become very good. And I always say it's very tough to beat a very good fighter twice in a row, and that's what, Johnny Eblen's going to have to do here. But Johnny Eblen has proven that, he's got that skill. 15-0, no one's been able to beat him. He's had some struggles at times in fights, but he's always worked himself out of them. I'm not too sure that, this is when they first were matched up, there was a whole lot of talk and a whole lot of, smack. It's going to be the same thing. That's who Fabian Edwards is. He likes to talk. He likes to get in your head. He likes to piss you off. And I think this time it's going to be easier for Johnny to just take that stuff and just throw it to the side. So it's not going to work as well as it did possibly in the first fight. Fabian's going to have to do something different in this fight. What that is, we're going to find out. I don't know.
Look, the odds are showing Johnny Eblen being a -400 plus 250 for Fabian Edwards. That's a big odds spread. And if you go back and watch that fight, Fabian was having success in that first round.
Yeah, he was.
So it was I felt like it was a pretty evenly matched fight. And then Johnny was able to catch and put his lights out. So, I think I could see this fight obviously going a little bit longer. I don't know if you're going to see a finish, but man, these two, there is true animosity towards each other. So they may fight a little bit more with caution, but it was shaping up to be a good fight until Johnny caught him. So like you said, the cut over the eye was nasty. It was like right in the,
it was a good
eyes. It was a nasty one. The fight that I care the most about on this card, not that I don't care about the other ones, but the one that I'm really interested in seeing is because Paul Hughes, PFL got into a bidding war for Paul Hughes because they didn't want him to go to the UFC. So they signed him. And
why?
I don't know.
because Dan Hardy wanted him. He's from, you got to look, he's from the UK area, and Dan Hardy had watched him. Dan Hardy thinks that he's going to be something special. So that was why the PFL ended up signing him for so much money.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that, like, look, AJ McKee and Paul Hughes. I guess if I'm the matchmaker, I'm thinking to myself, you have two number one contenders sitting there. Why am I having these two guys face each other? I know for the amount of money they're both making, it's, hey, whoever they put in front of you, fight. They're in this position, they're in this shit. But look, AJ, I saw Paul Hughes' last fight. I thought he looked good. He still looks like he's in the development phases.
He is in the development phases. There's no doubt about it.
I wasn't the only one that saw that then.
No matter what anyone wants to say, you can look and there are giant holes in his game. When you had the problems, and it's not, he did well against Bobby King, but when you have some of the problems that he had in that fight against Bobby, and this is where I look at this matchmaking and I go, it really didn't make sense to me. Yeah. Why, when you're bringing this guy in to be somebody, does the PFL think that Paul Hughes is going to beat Clay Collard? Because they're very similar as far as fighters, right?
No.
Both stand-up guys. Both guys like to sling, heavy leather, goes to the body, well, all that stuff. But if you're going to look and say, where is he lacking? You're going to say his wrestling is his weakest area. Yeah. His ground is okay. His submission game is okay, but his wrestling is his weakest area. What did AJ McKee do with Clay Collard? AJ McKee, when he gets tired of being in the stand-up with Paul Hughes, is going to dump him on his ass, and when it hits the ground, look out. Paul better be on his game as far as defending, or else he's going to end up getting submitted. I just don't see why they looked at this fight and thought this is a good idea at this point for Paul Hughes, if you're trying to build him.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have none. And then when I saw this matchup, and I've talked to some people that are close to the AJ camp, and they were like, yeah, when that name came across and said, hey, this is who we want you to fight, he's like, send the contract. Yeah. They didn't wait 1 second.
Oh, no. Look, AJ's father is not a stupid man, okay?
He is not.
Especially when it comes to fighting. Now, there's many things that I could sit there and argue with Antonio about, saying, you're being dumb. But goddamn it, when it comes to fighting, he knows fighting. Yeah. And he knows the people that his son is tailor-made to beat. Here's one. And I just looked at it and I was like, it just didn't make sense to me.
It didn't make any sense. I'm surprised that this is not a bigger spread, to be honest, at minus 185 and plus 142. Well, I mean, look, I think the world of Paul Hughes. I think he's a talented young fighter. He has too many holes in his games right now. He's still young, very young, and there's things that he needs to pick up. He needs to clean up.
But you say he's still young. He's what, a year younger than AJ?
Yeah, I understand that. I do get it. But what I mean by young is,
and hold on, and this is the other part when you're looking at it, Josh. He is young, and you take a look at his record, which he's got a phenomenal record. He's he's got one loss, I think. I'm sorry, I was going to say undefeated. He's got one loss, same as AJ. And you look and you go, show me the people that he's fought.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Man, the levels just night and day comparatively of who AJ McKee has stood across from and who Paul Hughes is stood
It's not just from. When he stood across from them, John. It's where.
No, it's where, when, it's crazy. I just don't. It's almost like, do you not realize how good this guy is?
Yeah. Yep. It's yeah. So, but I think it's gonna be a great fight. I'm looking for. Hopefully, Paul Hughes comes with the A game, man. Because when that fight was sent across to AJ, they said, "Give me the pen, sign, done, agreed." Yeah. It was no like, let me go talk to my dad, or let me go talk to AJ. It was like, nope, we're good.
Yeah.
So AJ was like, yeah. He said he already agreed to it before I even talked to anybody. It's like he already said yes. I was like, all right, whatever. What else you got for us there, podcast Dave?
Well, we're gonna hop over to OnlyFans now and cover the Shavkat Bilal fight.
Yes, we are. Is there any super chats in there? You guys want to chat? Give a couple questions.
No super chats in there.
Who do we have? Who's this? Hamza Mur. Had no question.
There's no question.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Hey guys, I want to thank you guys so much. We're gonna be doing this live on Tuesday nights. We call it Tuesday Night Lives. Okay, just like Saturday Night Live, we're gonna call it Tuesday Night Lives. I like
Tuesday
this.
Night Live.
Yeah, Tuesday Night Lives.
TNL.
Soon ooh, that might be something we build on.
Right,
Tuesday Night Lives. TNL.
TNL.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a poll in the background there for Dave to dance on while we're talking. Might be kind of nice. Thong, 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 thong.
Yeah.
Well, he's got the cardio.
Yeah.
We talked about that already.
Go to WeighingInMerch.com, WeighingInMerch.com. Pick up some of our apparel there. I want to say once again, this episode, this live was brought to you, this TNL was brought to you by LMNT. LMNT, stay salty, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, stay salty. And also, what else do we have? Well, Bet US. John loves you like the citrus lime and the grapefruit, huh? I love this watermelon, though. It's pretty good. And head on over to Bet US. You've used the promo code YouTube150. Okay, and they'll give you 150% bonus on your first deposit. And then on your next 2 deposits, 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits over at Bet US. We're going to head over to OnlyFans right now, right this second. If you guys subscribe to us over there, it is free. We're going to talk about the Bilal Muhammad and Shavkat fight, and maybe even a couple little questions out of there for you guys, you fans that are there. We might take some of your guys' questions as well. So head on over to OnlyFans and join us over there. And John, any last words?
For everyone, get on over to OnlyFans. We're going that way.